Oh, it's a streaming. Okay. Hello. Good evening, everyone. I am Suprakash Allar from first year Mechanical Engineering Department, the host of today's debate. With due regards to our honorable senior and our judge, Saknik Shenda from fourth year CSE, and the leading in charges of our debate club, Shottam Mishroda and Shantun Bardhanda, I would like to start today's debate session. Uh, Shottam is fairly ill for that's why he can't join the today's debate session. As we know, parenting in such a vast populated country like India is not that easy. So today we will be going to have a debate over a statement published by an US based news and world report perception that India stands in 65th position out of 80 best countries in the aspect of child raising. It's gonna be a 2 versus 3 all first year students debate. Uh, Let me remind you the rules for today's debate. There will be two rounds. First round is speech round and second round is questioning round. The time limit for the speech round is 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and no language barrier is here, so you can express your thinkings in your own way. I will start with the for motion team, and from the for the motion team I would like to invite my classmate Titikha Ghosh from first year mechanical engineering department to have her words supporting the statement. Titikha, are you ready?
Yes, ready.
Okay, fine, start.
A very good evening to all my respected juries, all my respected seniors, and my fellow batchmates. Myself, Titikha Ghosh from first year mechanical engineering, take this opportunity to present my views for the motion. The best countries to raise kids ranking draws from a global perception based survey and ranks countries based on scores from a competition of 8 country attributes. It is not quite surprising that India would rank 65th on a global index for best countries to raise children. To be sure, not all the children have it bad in India. Yet, children's ability to thrive and do well in India varies depending on their family income, caste group, and social status. There are some points in favor of my such kind of opinion. My first point, in the past 30 years, relative income inequality between countries has reduced, but absolute income inequality has increased insignificantly. The report titled The Power of 1.8 billion said 28% of India's population is 10 to 24 years old, one of the largest cohorts in human history. Adding that the youth population is growing fastest in the poorest nation. Too often they lack access to an education that will prepare them for contemporary job and business opportunities, giving them the skills and outlook they need for a 21st century economy. Also, it will be not easy for parents to raise happy children while fighting the unemployment rate, which is at 6.1%, a 4-decade high. Mobility has started over the last 30 years, marrying another generation in a poverty trap determined entirely by the family she or he is born into. My second point is the foremost step of raising children will is feeding them nutritious food, but that looks unlikely because of its quality. For instance, a study by the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute found that the vegetables supplied to large wholesale mandis contain high dose of lead, which in prolonged consumption could trigger a range of diseases, including cancer and damaged organs. My third point is that depending on which socio-economic strata you belong to, India will be as safe as it is unsafe. Naturally, a safer city will have probably meant for more opportunities to defy the gender bias. Even if the children survive hazardous air quality and contaminated food, the increasing problem of intolerance, hate crimes, social instability, violence against women, caste and religion based violence will end up impacting their quality of life. The one thing that India probably uniformly fares well on would be family cohesiveness. But for all its glorification, the Indian family thrives on wrapped and rigid gender roles, near zero intra-family democracy, and openly celebrates the lack of individual agency as evidence of family values. My last but not the least point is that Indian parents are believed to be overprotective of their children, which is a good thing most of the time. But this develops in them unknowingly controlling and dominating their children's life at every stage. They are deprived of the right to take the smallest decision of their life, even at the time of choosing their career. Thank you.
Thank you, Titikha. Next, I would like to call Orno Hajra from another mechanical engineering student from first year, and he will be speaking against the motion for today's statement. Orno, are you ready?
Of course.
Okay, start.
আমি অর্ণব হাজরা, মেকানিক্যাল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং ফার্স্ট ইয়ার। আজকের বিষয় হলো ইউএস নিউজ এবং ওয়ার্ল্ড রিপোর্ট গ্লোবাল পারসেপশনস ভিত্তিক সমীক্ষা অনুযায়ী শিশুদের লালন পালনের জন্য সেরা দেশগুলির উপর ভিত্তি করে ৮০টি দেশের মধ্যে ভারত ৬৫তম স্থানে রয়েছে। আমি এর বিরুদ্ধে মতামত পেশ করছি। এখন প্রশ্ন হলো, এই যে এত বড় সার্ভে কন্ডাক্ট করা হলো ইউএস নিউজ এবং ওয়াটন স্কুলের দ্বারা, সেটা কি তৃণমূল স্তরে গিয়ে করা হয়েছে নাকি কিছু ভারতীয় ফ্রন্ট লাইন মিডিয়া, বোথ প্রিন্টিং অ্যান্ড ইলেকট্রনিক, এর গতে বাঁধা তথ্যের উপর ভিত্তি করে তৈরি করা হয়েছে? তাছাড়া কোন কোন বিষয়গুলোকে গুরুত্ব দিয়ে সমীক্ষাটি করা হয়েছে এটা দেখে নি। কেয়ারস অ্যাবাউট হিউম্যান রাইটস, ফ্যামিলি ফ্রেন্ডলি, হ্যাপি, ইনকাম কোয়ালিটি, সেফ, ওয়েল ডেভেলপড পাবলিক এডুকেশন সিস্টেম, ইটিসি। এখানে ফ্রেঞ্চ দার্শনিক রুসোর একটা কথা আছে। তিনি বলেছিলেন যে একটা শিশুকে নেচারে প্রকৃতিতে ছেড়ে দিতে। তিনি উদাহরণ দিয়েছিলেন যে আগুনটা, একটা শিশুকে আগুনে হাত দিতে দিলে তবে সে বুঝতে পারবে আগুনে হাত দিলে ছ্যাঁকা লাগে, তখনই সে হাতটা সরিয়ে নেবে। এটা তার একটা শিক্ষা হলো, প্র্যাকটিক্যাল শিক্ষার কথা বলেছিলেন তিনি। প্রকৃতি শিক্ষার গুরুত্বটা অপরিসীম, এটা আমাদের অনুধাবন করিয়েছিলেন। আমরা ছোটবেলায় সেই সুনির্মল বসুর সেই কবিতার কথা সবাই জানি, সেই সবার আমি ছাত্র কবিতা। আমাদের পিতামাতারা যেভাবে আমাদের শাসন করেন সেটা দেখে অত্যাচার মনে হতেই পারে, কিন্তু আদতে তো তা অত্যাচার নয়। আমার নিজের দেখা একটা ঘটনার কথা বলি। আমার নিজের এলাকাতে আমি আমার বাবার সঙ্গে দেখেছিলাম, একটি বিহারি বাসন কোসন বিক্রি করেন, তার ছেলেকে নিয়ে তিনি বসে খাচ্ছিলেন একটি দোকানে, পাউরুটি আর মিষ্টি আর ডিম সেদ্ধ খাচ্ছিলেন তিনি, আর তার ছেলে খাচ্ছিল শুধু পাউরুটি আর মিষ্টি। তো এটা দেখে আমাদের খারাপ মনে হতেই পারে, পিতা নিজে ডিম সেদ্ধটা খাচ্ছে কিন্তু তার ছেলেকে কিছুই দিচ্ছে না। এটা দেখে আমার বাবা জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলেন, তিনি তখন কি উত্তর দিয়েছিলেন, উত্তরটা বলি। তিনি বলেছিলেন যে আমার ডিম সেদ্ধ খাওয়া দেখে ছেলেটার মনে হতেই পারে বাবা আমাকে দিল না, তাহলে আমিও এমন এক সময় খাবো, ডিম কি মাংস খাবো, বাবাকে দেব না। এটা তার মনে হতেই পারে। এটা আমাদের দিক থেকে খারাপ মনে হলো, বাবার কাছে তার পিতার কাছে কিন্তু এটা গর্বের, যে না আমার ছেলে আমার থেকে ভালো কিছু খাক এবং সেটা নিজে উপার্জন করে খাক। অন্যদিকে আসি, ইনকাম কোয়ালিটির কথাটা বলা হলো। এই ইনকাম কোয়ালিটির কথা বলতে হয় যে ভারতীয় পিতামাতারা পড়াশোনার জন্য তাদের সন্তানকে যতদূর পর্যন্ত নিজে যেতে হয় তাদের নিয়ে যান, যতটা স্যাক্রিফাইস করতে হোক তারা পিছ পান না। নিজেরা না খেয়ে সন্তানের জন্য খাবার জোগাড়ের পথ সুগম করে দেন। আর এডুকেশন সিস্টেমের কথা উঠলে তো আর কোনো কথা বলার চান্সই নেই। এমন ভাবে বলা হয় যেন ভারতের শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থা ওয়ার্স্ট ইন দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড। আসল কথা যে পড়াশোনা শুরু থেকেই যেভাবে আমাদের ইঁদুর দৌড়ে নামিয়ে দেওয়া হয় সেটা আপাত দৃষ্টিতে খুবই খারাপ মনে হতে পারে। এও বলা হয় যে শিশুর মানসিক বিকাশ হচ্ছে না, সবসময় টাফ কম্পিটিশন, হার্ডলস, ইটিসি ইটিসি। এই তো এখন কেমন চলছে আমাদের, আমরা ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং স্টুডেন্টসদের ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং কোর্সকে সব থেকে টাফেস্ট কোর্স বলা হয়, এমনি না। কিন্তু কেন আমাদের এমন করতে হচ্ছে, কি প্রয়োজন এসবের? নিজের 3টে সাবজেক্ট
Your
নিয়ে কি
time is
হচ্ছিল
over,
না?
Ornab.
আর 2 লাইন
Complete the
আছে,
sentence.
2 লাইন। এসবের উত্তর হচ্ছে সেই যে কোটা ফ্যাক্টরি জিতু ভাইয়ার কথাটা আছে, कंपटीशन टफ होना चाहिए क्योंकि टफ कंपटीशन से जीवन में कॉन्फिडेंस आता है। थैंक यू।
Okay, impressive. Next, I would like to invite Avantika Sadhuka from first year CSE, Shaknikda's very own department, to have her words supporting the statement. Are you ready, Avantika?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Start.
Okay. Wellness encompasses a healthy body, a sound mind, and a tranquil spirit. Good evening, one and all present here. I, Abantika Sadhu Khan from first year CSE, am going to speak for the motion. The dollars spent on economic incentives and new investment strategies are wasted unless we seriously address so to two most economic issues, health and education, was rightly said by Kathleen Sibelius. We all witness that India doesn't invest much in education and healthcare, while on the other hand, China invested in these grounds since 1978, which has reflected an increase in GDP per capita from $190 to $5,432 in 2011. Not only so, the new educational policy, which has been brought up by the Indian government, stays in limbo for 5 long years. The rise in investment in health and education has risen only marginally. According to the British Medical Journal, a recent study shows that the Indian medical industry fares poorly in terms of of healthcare as well as qualification of doctors. 54% of the doctors aren't well qualified enough, while 20% of them who aren't a part of the workforce. Certain time will save 9. So a proper healthy environment will make the need for healthcare much less. But India doesn't fulfill such grounds as well. India accounts to home 22 of the 30 most polluted cities of the world, and the air from where kills 1 million people per year. The cases of infants being admitted to ICU hospitals has increased due to the unhealthy environment around us. Not only physical health, but the child needs a proper mental health. A child needs a support system which is not available due to the working parents. Are the parents doing so out of passion? As per the recent studies, the unemployment rate is 6.1% for 4 high decades. So the parents are bound by the shackles of unemployment. Coming to the safety of Indian kids. In 2019, India records of having 1,48,000 crime cases annually, which accounts for 400 per day against kids. Not only so, based on the Indian Railway reports, show that 16,457 children were rescued from trains and railway stations per year, which accounts for 46 children per day. Not only so, the peer pressure through which the students have to go day by day shows that student suicidal cases is spike to the height of 12,526 in 2020, which contributes 8.2% of deaths for all over India. India, based on gender biases, India is home to the highest number of child brides, as well as 60 to 90% of women face sexual harassment or
Your time
violence
is
in
over,
public
Avantika.
places. So India is developing, but it has not come up to that mark that it can be said best for raising children. Thank you, and let's hope for the best.
Okay, great. Now we have Asif Rahman from first year Mechanical Engineering Department to disagree the statement. Are you ready, Asif?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, fine, fine.
Am I
Start.
audible perfectly?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ একদম
Am I audible?
start.
Okay. Then I start. Respected jury, my seniors and my fellow mates, a very good evening to all of you present over here. I am Asif Rahman, a student of first year specializing in mechanical engineering, and today I stand here to present my views against India's 65th position over 80 countries to raise children in. India is considered one of the potential superpower of the world. This potential is attributed to several indicators, the primary ones being its demographic trends, price of diversity, and rapidly expanding economy. India is now entering the steep third phase of its growth journey. It clearly indicates that India is developing constantly and not far away from the Western developed countries. In terms of healthcare sector, India has become healthcare sector has become India's largest sector both in terms of revenue and employment, and it is growing at a brisk pace due to its strengthening coverage, services, and expenditure by public as well as private players. The same thing is happening during the COVID situation, when the Western developed countries also facing trouble to provide vaccine. India has significantly done a great job by providing Covaxin worldwide. The same thing is happening in terms of education system. If we look at the statistics, the overall literacy rate is around 72.9% in digits. The numbers come out to be nearly 76 million people. As per the census, literacy can only be achieved if the children are risen up with care and proper environment. This clearly signifies the roles of families behind the literacy growth in our nation. Even the government takes this a step further by adding many schemes and policies, with the new education system policy of India laying the national level strategy for the new millennium. So, as of now, intervening and investing across all the points, we can see that India's development trajectory to raise children in is upward. Even though the ranking clearly shows the poor conditions of India, but I must look for positive thing that our country has achieved over years. I must look forward to encourage people to dissipate the weaknesses of India, and India becomes the most successful country across the world. Thank you. That's from my side today, and thank you uh, for for being the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Asif. Uh, Now, last but not the least, we have Asif Samim from first year electrical engineering to disagree the statement with his words. Asif, are you ready?
Yes, Suprakash. Am I audible, right?
हाँ, perfectly
Uh,
audible. Start.
okay, let me know when you press the timer. Oh, it's already on.
हाँ,
Can we
just
go again?
just
Can we go again? Can we go again?
हाँ हाँ
Please.
हाँ.
Okay.
Okay, now start.
Okay. Very good evening, everyone. This is Asif Shamim, a student of electrical engineering first year, and I'm here to speak against the topic of why I feel India, if not the best, is a decently good enough country to raise your children in. The reasons why I feel it's good enough, the first being the point that everyone went against, that is competition in education system, and otherwise as well in natural life forms, be it education system or curricular activities or anything likewise. I feel due to the huge population that we all always boast of as a country, an average student here in India itself is a lot better, is on par or a lot better than students everywhere else. The second, I feel the life skills and the way street smart these Indians are, uh, growing up in adversities ranging from difficulties in earning one square meal a day to adversities in every field of life. I feel we've unknowingly garnered skills and life skills and a positive attitude towards life, be it from not having water or electricity 24 into 7, or fighting for a night out or a trip with friends with your parents, or for every penny that we earn or we get. It's made us street smart, and I believe and Indians would fare a lot better if they're put in a situation where they are faced with adversities. The third point being cultural and religious diversities. The Indian children raise up in a environment where they face a lot of people from different cultural backgrounds, financial backgrounds, and whatnot. And I feel at the end of the day, going into professional lives everywhere in the world, you need to come up and against and know to live with people from different backgrounds. And here in India, you learn that from a very young age. The fourth point being affordability. India being a developing country and not one of the best economically, it's a lot cheaper for you to raise children in India. And I feel being rich, you could grow and sustain in a very well way wherever you are in the world. And if not, you struggle to earn a square meal no matter where you live in. And last but not the least, I'll like to point out a few loopholes or fault that I feel that there is in the statement that we are debating against today. That is, the statement is built upon perceptions. Of course, perception is something that is stereotypes or people think or seems to them. So it's basically like if Elon Musk asked me today, what do you think about living in space? Of course, I haven't lived there until now. I hope I do. But I would, of course, say, yeah, I feel it's great, even though I have no idea or haven't been raised there. So building up on perceptions, a survey report on perceptions, I feel is a lot gimmicky and prejudiced. So that's that. And more importantly, because the hardship and adversities that these children are quote unquote perceived to go through gradually and eventually makes them a very strong individual with good morals and personality and having gratitude or for whatever little they had or quote unquote perceived to have had throughout their childhood. Thank you, everyone.
Fine. Well done, everyone. This is the end of the first round, and our today's judge Shaknikda just joined us. Shaknikda, will you like to have some words after this first speech round?
I would like to have some words after the all over the round. Then I will say something about the today's topic, and then I will try to cultivate the every opinion which is given by the participants of this debating session. But after finishing the first round, I would not like to judge, and I would not like to pass any comments regarding that. I will say things after the debating session is over, and I hope that people will stay tuned for that. So continue, Suprakash, give the opinions of others, and then finally I would like to say something regarding this. Okay.
Okay, okay, fine, Shaknikda. So now let's move on to the second round and the last round as well, which is rebuttal round. Let me clarify the rules for the rebuttal round. As it is a 2 versus 3 debate competition, 2 are from the for the motion and 3 are from the against the motion team. So we are giving every participant from either for or against team can ask two questions to their against team. But here is the advantage, or I say rule I say, to the for team. Any one of them can ask four questions. Four questions, not four questions. They can divide one. Titikka and Avantika can divide the two questions, one versus one, and ask them to the. Sottamda is not available. He is ill. So Avantika and Titika can divide, or you say Titika and Avantika can ask three questions to the against team. Who then neither cross questions is available in this debate competition, but personal attacks not allowed. So keep your question brief and try to answer to the point. Are you guys uh, are you guys familiar with the rules? Please give a thumbs up in the chat box. Are you guys fine with the rule? Avantika and Titika? Please let me know.
Yeah, Suprakash, the rules are. Please go ahead.
The 4 team is not responding at all. Titika and Avantika, are you there? So now Titikha has the opportunity to counter the against team. You can ask two questions to the against team. Go forward, Titikha. Take your time. Fix it and then rejoin. Avantika just left. Avantika, are you ready with your questions? Are you ready with your questions? So
Hello,
go
am I
forward.
audible?
Yes, perfectly audible.
So my question for the against team is that they have said that Indian education system is not so bad. Okay, so why is the suicidal cases of students increased up to such a percentage that it has raised a height of 8.2%, right, among all the deaths which is occurring in India? So what is the reason for it if the Indian education system is so good?
Repeat the question, please.
Avantika, please
My
repeat.
my question was, the education system is good of India. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's up to some extent it's good, but the student suicidal cases has increased up to a rate of 8.2% of the total deaths occurring in India. So what's the reason for it?
আমি বলবো
Or
Yeah,
no,
sure,
go
sure.
forward.
স্টুডেন্ট সুইসাইড কেন করে এবার সেটা যদি বোঝা যায় উত্তরটা এসে যাবে। যারা এই প্রচন্ড প্রেসার সামলাতে পারে না তারাই সুইসাইডের পথে অগ্রসর হয়। এরকম ভাবে দেখতে গেলে আইআইটি গুলোর মধ্যে সুইসাইডের অ্যাটেম্প্ট প্রচুর বেশি হয়। এই খবর আমরা সবাই জানি, তাহলে তো আর আইআইটি কে খারাপ বলা চলে না, বা আইআইটির পড়াশোনাকেও খারাপ বলা চলে না। যারা প্রেসারটা নিতে পারে না তারা সুইসাইড করে। আমাদের এখন কি প্রেসার, এই আমাদের প্রেসারও তো প্রচন্ড প্রেসার। প্রেসারকে প্রেসারকে চ্যালেঞ্জ করে তো এগিয়ে যাওয়াটাই তো বেটার। তার যে সুইসাইড করবে তার সুইসাইড করারই ছিল, এভাবে কখনো বিচার করা যায় না। যে তার প্রেসারকে কন্ট্রোল করতে পারাটাই তো সব থেকে বেটার হয়েছে।
Done or not?
ওকে, ডান।
Avantika, are you satisfied with his answer? You can cross question. Cross questioning is allowed.
Okay, IIT JEE and NEET, guys, you are saying competitive exams, but also we can, it is evident that a few people, like even before appearing for a NEET and a JEE or whatever competitive exam it might be, before getting chance in anything or any such stuff, they are trying suicidal cases. At least if they don't die, but they try out. There are a high number of cases. So is everybody, the system is such that maximum students are facing the pressure and trying to commit suicide, and a few amount of student, like, they are comfortable with it.
হ্যাঁ আসিফ, বলো।
Yeah, to answer Abantika, I feel this is not to blame the education system for the entire raising your children, quote unquote, system as a whole. They don't necessarily suicide because they can't take up the pressure of studies, and likewise, there are a lot of instances when they do it for financial reasons or as to family reasons as well. Now, to counter that, owing to the huge population that India always boasts about, do you have any alternative as to how we can evaluate and give them opportunities as to their education backgrounds? The JEE or NEET exams, the ones you've mentioned, are the only possible ways as to evaluate and let them go for higher studies. So, to answer you, that's my point being they don't necessarily take up their lives only for the education system, and it's not to blame it alone.
Okay, Asif, are you done?
Yes, Suprakash.
Avantika, are you satisfied?
Yeah, okay, I'm satisfied.
Okay, okay. So you can put your next question to the against team.
I would like to hand over my mic to Titikya. Is she here?
আমি এখানে আছি। ওকে, আমি কোশ্চেনটা করছি।
Fine, fine. Kor.
হ্যালো, am I audible?
Perfectly audible.
ওকে। ইন্ডিয়াতে ইন্ডিয়ান যারা তারা ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভ, আমি আমার পয়েন্ট যেটা বলেছি, ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভ হয়ে যায় চিলড্রেনের ফিউচার ডিসিশনের ক্ষেত্রে। তো এটা কি ঠিক নয় যে তাদেরও কিছু ক্ষেত্রে ডিসিশন দেওয়া মানে নিতে দেওয়া উচিত, বা তারা যাতে ডমিনেট না করতে পারে? চিলড্রেন রেজিং এর যে কেসটা হয়, তার জন্য তার কোয়ালিটি তো অনেকটা নেমে যাচ্ছে ফিফথ পজিশনে থাকার জন্য। তো এখানে যদি কেউ কিছু বলে যে কন্ট্রোলিং করা বা ডমিনেট করা, তাদের লাইফে সব ক্ষেত্রে ইন্টারফেয়ার করা, তাদের ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট না হতে দেওয়া, সেটা কি ঠিক?
কোশ্চেনটা ঠিক বুঝলাম না ভালো মতো।
Repeat. Please repeat, Titikka.
মানে আমি বলতে চাইছি যে ওই যে ডমিনেট করা কারণ বাচ্চাদের লাইফে তাদের ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট না দেওয়া, তাদের তাদের লাইফের ডিসিশন না নেওয়া, ইভেন কেরিয়ার চুজিং এর ক্ষেত্রে অনেকেই মনে করে নোবেল প্রফেশন বলতে ডক্টর বা ইঞ্জিনিয়ার এইগুলোর দিকে যাওয়া, তাদের নিজেদের কোনো মতামত অনেক ক্ষেত্রে করা পোষণ করা হয় না, তাদের মতামত নিতে দেওয়া হয় না। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে যদি কেউ কিছু বলে যে সেটা তো ঠিক, ঠিক কি ভুল?
Who would
কি
like
আমি
to
বলবো নাকি
answer this?
আসিফ?
Cross questioning is allowed.
Yes or no? You go ahead.
বলছি। তা ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভের কথাটা বললে, যখন ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভের কথাটা আমি বলছি, কিছু ক্ষেত্রে পেরেন্টস ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভ হয়, আর কিছু ক্ষেত্রে সেটা কিন্তু সুখফলদায়ক বলা যেতে পারে। কারণ আর তুমি যেটা বলছো সেটা তুমি মাস দিক থেকে বলছো না, কারণ ডক্টর বা ইঞ্জিনিয়ারের কথাটা কিন্তু সবাই চিন্তা করে না। ইভেন আমিও চিন্তা করিনি। আর ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং বলতে গেলে আমি নিজের কথাটা ধরে বলতে পারি যে আমি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এ শুধুমাত্র এসেছি যে কারণ আমি দেখেছি বিটেক এমন একটা ডিগ্রি, যে ডিগ্রিটা প্রত্যেকটা কম্পিটিটিভ এক্সাম, গভর্নমেন্ট কম্পিটিটিভ এক্সামের ক্ষেত্রে গ্র্যান্টেড হয়। যেটা সমস্ত অনেক জায়গাতে বিএসসি যেখানে গ্র্যান্টেড হয় না, সেখানে কিন্তু বিটেক গ্র্যান্টেড হয়, যে কারণে আমি এসেছি। তা সেক্ষেত্রে আমার পিতামাতা আমাকে অতটাও কোনোভাবে কোনোদিনও যে জোর করেননি যে এটা পড়তে হবে বা এটাই পড়তে হবে বা এটাই পড়তে হবে, এরম ভাবে কোনোদিনও। আর ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভনেসটা কখনো খারাপ নয়। কোনো ছেলেকে যদি ভুল পথে যাওয়ার দিক থেকে বাঁচাতে পারেন, সেটা তো তাদের দায়িত্ব। আর কেউ কোনো পিতামাতা কখনো চাইবেন না তার ছেলে খারাপ হোক বা তার ছেলে বা মেয়ে তার খারাপ হোক। তো সেই দিক থেকে তারা ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভ হয়ে পড়েন বা তারা জিনিসটা করেন যে তার ছেলে তো বকে যাচ্ছে না বা তার ছেলে বা মেয়ে তো বকে যাচ্ছে না বা ভুল পথে যাচ্ছে না, এই ভয়েতে। বিষয়টা আমাদেরও ফিল হবে কখন, যখন আমরা নিজেরা নিজেদের নেক্সট জেনারেশনের কাছে নেক্সট জেনারেশনকে এই উপদেশ দেব এইরকম ভাবে, তখন আমারও নিজেদেরকে ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভ হতে হবে। ওকে, ডান।
Titik, are you satisfied with Arnav's answer?
ক্রস
Or will you
কোশ্চেন।
like to হ্যাঁ
ওকে,
হ্যাঁ
তো আমি যেটা বলবো যে অনেকের বিভিন্ন প্যাশন থাকে, তো তারা সেই প্যাশনের দিকে যেতে চায়, কিন্তু আলটিমেটলি প্যারেন্টসরা কি করে, তারা বলে যে প্যাশনকে প্যাসিভ পজিশনে রাখতে। তো হয় তাকে ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং বা ডক্টর বা এডুকেশনের দিক দিয়ে যেতে। কেউ ক্রিকেটার হতে চায় বা সিঙ্গার হতে চায়, কিন্তু তাদের সেটা সুপ্ত অবস্থায় থেকে যায়, অনেক ক্ষেত্রে সেটা কিন্তু হয় না। তো সেইখানে তো ওভার প্রোটেক্টিভ যে বিষয়টা, তাদের লাইফটাকে তো কন্ট্রোল করছি।
হ্যালো, আমি এক লাইনে উত্তরটা দিয়ে দিই।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, বল।
হুম,
First discuss with your team members.
Wait, Arnab, wait.
ওকে ওকে। বল, কে বলবি?
আসিফ শামীম, যদি তুই বলতে চাস বলতে পারিস।
I'm against the motion, Sagnik Bhaiya. Okay, so I'd like to answer to the counter question for Titikya. Am I audible to everyone?
হুম
So being overprotective or protective about children is a good thing, I feel, because as Titika mentioned, following passions and doing what they like to do and taking that up as their profession is, of course, according to the children's will. But then again, I feel in a population as vast as India's, succeeding or getting the opportunity to do so is very bleak. So it's like 1% of those children make up their names in sports or whatever field they're like. But being protective and pushing them into the education system, pursuing a degree, throws them towards a more secure lifestyle. So even though you can't succeed or earn fame as a sports star or a movie celebrity, being persuaded in education, you can at least sustain a good life. And the percentage rate of that is a lot higher. And also to counter that question, I'd like to point this out to Titikia. The question she asks is, the parents being overprotective. And I think the question itself goes against and contradicts the debate that we are having, that India is a difficult country to raise your children in. The question she asks is going to the topic that it's difficult having Indian parents. Okay, Suprakash, that's from my side.
fair enough. Titika, are you satisfied?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So to the formation team, do you guys have any other questions, or should I hand over the mic to the against team?
No, I have one more question.
Yeah, you can go with your second question.
Yeah, so coming to Indian education system and Indian parents is a different sphere, but it's about raising up kids, right? So for raising children, so for that purpose, health also comes into matter. So India is facing a scarcity in the number of doctors, and as well as the healthcare system is not so well developed. So how can India come to a greater rank for opting for raising children?
Who will like to tackle this question?
Avantika, can you repeat your question specifically one more time?
Yeah, so keeping aside education and parent peer pressure and parents' pressure, it's okay. But for raising a child, health is also an important factor, right? So for health, when we come over here, the number of doctors is in India is very low, and the healthcare system is also not developed. Even in the we live in the metropolitan cities, so it's very system is not so developed. So what about that?
Who tell you that system is not developed? Because healthcare sector is now become India's largest sector, both in terms of revenue and employment. So how can you? What is the basis of your question? Okay, that's
Avantika, you can counter question.
But still people like kids are getting no, are not getting proper health care.
Anyone?
uh,
Arnav, Asif, anyone would like to go, or else I would.
if you want to go, then go ahead.
So if you have
And
your
তুমি তো
points, if your
বলছো তাহলে
points, if
আসি
your points, Rahman.
উত্তরটা দিয়ে দেবে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ অর্ণব,
হ্যাঁ,
কি বললি বল।
সরি সরি সরি, মাইক অন হয়ে গেছিল।
Asif, would you like to answer this or I go ahead?
If you have your points, go ahead. Well and good. Otherwise, I'm there.
ওকে ওকে। সো আবান্তিকা, তুমি বললে যে মানে ইন্ডিয়াতে এখনো স্টিল কিছু হচ্ছে না, বাট ইন্ডিয়া ইজ ইন্ডিয়ার যে হেলথ কেয়ার সেক্টর, এটা অনেক এখন লার্জেস্ট সেক্টর, বোথ যেটা রেভিনিউ অ্যান্ড এমপ্লয়মেন্ট বোথ ক্ষেত্রেই। সো এটা গ্রোথ হচ্ছে এবং আপকামিং ইয়ার্সে আরো ভালো হবে। এবার বর্তমান পরিস্থিতির ক্ষেত্রে যদি বিচার করে বলা যায় তাহলে হয়তো খুব একটা ভালো না, বাট ইটস স্টিল গ্রোয়িং। সো দ্যাটস মাই অ্যান্সার আর কি। Asif, Shamim, if you want to add something.
No, if she has questions left or to counter, then I would.
Do you have any questions left? Titi,
No,
Avantika?
it's done. It's over.
Okay, okay, okay. Take care. Titika, do you have any more questions? Okay, fine. I am handing over the mic to the against team. And who will like to counter the for motion team first? Is it Asif or Ornub?
আসিফ, কর না তুই। টাইম নিচ্ছি তাহলে একটু। আসিফ, এই কোশ্চেনটা তুই কর, আমি কোশ্চেনটা করব।
আচ্ছা, আমি আমি কি একটা কোশ্চেন করতে পারি তাহলে?
You can
Asif,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
ওকে, আমার কোশ্চেন তিতিক্ষাকে। সো তিতিক্ষা তার স্পিচে বলছিল আনএমপ্লয়মেন্ট নিয়ে, কিন্তু আজকের যে টপিক সেটা চিলড্রেন রেজিং নিয়ে, সেখানে আনএমপ্লয়মেন্টের ব্যাপারটা আনার কি প্রয়োজন, আমি সেটা বুঝলাম না।
ওকে, আমি যেটা বলেছি যে আনএমপ্লয়মেন্টের জন্য আনএমপ্লয়মেন্টের চিন্তা যদি কোনো প্যারেন্টসের মাথায় থাকে, সে যদি তার জব হারিয়ে ফেলার একটা ভয় থাকে, তাহলে সে প্রপারলি তো নিজের লাইফ নিয়ে টেন্স থাকবে। সে একটা বাচ্চাকে কিভাবে প্রপারলি মেনটেন করতে পারবে, হ্যাপি চিলড্রেন যে ওয়ার্ডটা, তো সেটা তো মেনটেন করা যাবে না। সে তাকে প্রপারলি এডুকেশন বা তার যদি জব না থাকে, সে প্রপারলি তাকে এডুকেশন দিতে পারবে না, ফুড দিতে পারবে না, বা প্রপার হ্যাবিটেটের মধ্যেও রাখতে পারবে না, তো সেটা একটা প্রবলেম হয়ে যাবে। তাই জন্য আনএমপ্লয়মেন্টের বিষয়টা এসেছে, যে যত টাইম যাচ্ছে তো আনএমপ্লয়মেন্টের রেটটা বাড়ছে, তো তাতে এই প্রবাবিলিটিটাও বাড়ছে যে চিলড্রেনের এডুকেশন বা ফুড কোয়ালিটি এটা একটু প্রবলেম হচ্ছে, এই জন্য আমি এটার করেছি।
Acha. Asif, you
Asif,
want to counter or?
is it fair enough to meet
If
your
you
doubt?
want to, then
No, counter question is
yes,
only available for
I
you.
okay, but I satisfied. I'm totally satisfied with the answer.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Do you have any more questions, Asif?
I want to hand over the mic to Asif or Honor, whoever is going to.
Okay, Asif or Orno, who will like to a question for the motion team?
Yeah, I would like to go. Titika mentions unemployment. Now, for an instance where the parent gets unemployed or loses his job, then of course it's trouble for him to raise up a child in that matter. But that can so happen in every other country as well, not just in India. But then in India, there's a wider spectrum of schools and colleges available for the parent to opt to avail for the children's education system, be it a government school, a government college, a private school, a private college, and then of course a wider spectrum inside the private spectrum as well. But then across, if you go to other countries, you don't even get that option. So that, of course, I feel the sentence is flawed when Tithika says so. The next thing that I'd like to mention that Abantika and Tithika, of course, mentions about the suicide rates in India. 8.2% seems like a big number. But then again, if you consider the population of India, it's not actually that big. And secondly, of course, it's the debate is not about the death rates or the number of people killed or dying or healthcare system. I say so because if you consider the killings or deaths, maybe in other countries the suicide rates may not be that high, but the number of hate crimes is a lot higher. If you consider the US reports and stuff, there's a, of course, all the time you hear about the gun firings and shootings in US schools in New Zealand and stuff and so on. So, of course, if you keep that on par, the reasons may be different, but then again, every country seems to be on par with that. So I'd like to hear an answer for that unemployment and the suicide rates.
Is the question clear, Titika or Avantika?
Please, Arakba, to the point, just Jigesh for.
Asif, please question to the point. Keep your question brief.
Okay, so Tithikya mentions unemployment being a tough nut to crack in India. But I say because of unemployment as well, India has a larger spectrum of availabilities and options in the education system. And the suicide rate, of course, in other countries, the numbers may not be equal in suicide rates, but the number of killings in different ways comes on par. So to counter that question, please.
Who will like to answer this? Avantika or Titika?
Yeah, I would like to answer this. So, as Asif said, that based on the population, like the unemployment or the suicidal cases, he says that it is in the other countries, provision of government schools and colleges are not available, right? So for that, the population also comes in matter over here. And why won't it come? Because if the number of people are more and if the seats are less, so definitely there will be unemployment. So if there is an unemployment, there should be a way out of from here, right? So the students are allotted the government schools and colleges. Now coming to the suicidal rates, India is the youth capital, and as we all know, youth has that amount of energy to do something new, something fresh for the country, right? So you are saying that based on the population, if this 8.2% is a very less number when we come to Indian population, but it is the youth which is going, right? They are just the growing flowers of the country. They are not old people, right? So they could have done something better, which others might not have even thought, right? So how can you say that they are the building up minds? So this physical case may not come, so what will come?
Counter available, Suprakash?
Yes, yes. You can counter question him. Hard.
Of course, but of course, as we know, India makes up for the population. As we lose the 8.2%, we keep on increasing the 16.8% every day as well. So that, of course, being played. And you are contradicting yourself again, I feel, when you say about the education system. Suicide rates, I just mentioned, even though we are losing a considerable amount of number, then again, it's tracing back to Tithikia's statement. It's going against the debate's topic. It's why Indian parents are bad instead of why raising your children in India is difficult. That's from my side.
Shall I answer?
Yes.
Yeah, so a child's education is only the last thing, right? So a happy mental health, or leave about Indian parents. If a kid is to become here, is allowed to come here just alone, let him come alone without his parents, right? So he needs to have a support system. He needs to have healthy food. He needs to have a specific health care, which we say. And if over here you are saying that the unemployment rate and suicidal cases and the health cases are not coming in, so how does this matter? Only someone just can't go through education, right? There are many other factors which give a healthy educational environment.
Counter available, Suprakash?
You can double counter.
Okay, so for instance, we leave a child alone in a country like India or anywhere else. All that depends upon how he will stride or survive there is the money that he has with him, be it India, be it anywhere else. And to pinpoint the debate that we are discussing upon, it's based upon perceptions and nothing else. So it's like believing that every child in Abu Dhabi or Dubai goes to school in a Lamborghini in the morning, comes back to pets of lions and tigers. That's not the case. That's the stereotype that we hold. Of course, a certain amount of people do that as well, and that is being portrayed in a large majority and in a wider spectrum, and that's that we believe in the similar way. India, of course, being a developing country, lags behind in a lot of aspects from other countries, and that's being portrayed on a wider spectrum to the other countries as well. But that doesn't mean it's a bad country to raise your children in.
Avantika?
Yeah, so I think you are contradicting the same thing. India is developing, and we all know that, and we agree to it. So India is developing. That's why it is not up to that rank, right? That it is ideal for raising kids. So based on these safety measures, these health measures, and every healthy situation, a parent won't idealize this place from any other place, because you yourself said that India is developing. So while developing, it has a few nooks and corners. Every state will have some loopholes. So let it just cover up, and let a few years go pass by, and then it will definitely develop up to give a better result, right?
Okay, counter question available?
No more counter questions is available.
Come on, Suprakash, not for points, but just for the fun.
Then the debate will have no end.
Ask
Sheshi hobe na.
Shagnik Da and Satyam Da if they allow.
Shagnik da, Sottom da,
Okay,
should I allow?
as seeing the intensity, let's have one.
Okay, great.
Okay, fine.
This is being like an ere todko over a baseless stuff.
No offense to any participant. This is just solely based on the debate that we are having. No personal grudges or whatsoever. Yeah, shall I go, Suprakash? Hello.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So as she says, of course, India doesn't belong to one of the best countries to raise your children in. But all of that's been said, all of that we've discussed, it's all based upon perceptions, as I said. And perception, of course, is something like a stereotype, a thing that you ask from a neutral point of view. It's like Elon, as I mentioned in my earlier statement, Elon Musk asking me what it's like in space. So I'd, of course, say, yeah, it's great, it seems. But that's not the case because I haven't lived there. And to contradict this statement or the debate as a whole itself, the same US News and Reports Service year earlier had India as the top 25 countries to live in. But the same source of information states India as the among the worst countries to raise your children in. So even though I feel it's kind of not the greatest country to raise your children, eventually and gradually they develop life skills and systems, and the education system as a whole, they adapt to it so well that in the end India comes among the top 25 countries to live in. So, among all adversities, they learn to live and grow a tough skin. That's that. I'd like to contradict the source itself. The very same thing, the US News and Reports states in their other report as well that India is one of the greatest countries to live in, the top 25 countries. That's my point.
Avantika.
Yeah, so as Asif said, Asif is absolutely correct. Like US, they contradict on their basis itself. But one small point to say that it is top 25 countries to live in, not to raise your child in. So
Exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. That in
Asif, please
amidst
don't
all the
interrupt her. Asif, please don't
yeah,
interrupt her.
but she's
Avantika,
stating me
Avantika.
wrongly. She's stating me wrongly. Okay,
No, 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 no.
I take
no,
this
no,
to
no,
a court.
it's
I
not
take
a
this to a
personal
court.
attack. Please don't take it this
Please,
way.
please.
I'm saying that it's
Yeah, yeah,
the
sure.
best, the best 20, topmost 25 countries to live. So it's based on you come, live, earn, and then you have your everything over here. So it's that. But the raising kid is a different thing, right? So if you can say that if I didn't get you correctly, so you can just clarify me.
Yeah, yeah, sure. These aren't for points, Suprakash. Just to clarify, we are just discussing and gathering more information. I specifically mentioned that they when they say that India is among the worst countries to raise your child in, amidst all those adversities and the negativity that these children grow up amidst, they eventually and gradually garner skills and skills among life skills, education wise, healthcare wise, learning to live with adversities, being uh, you know all of that, and eventually they themselves push the list up and take it to the other report, that is the best countries to live in, the top 25 countries to live in. So all I mean to say is, amidst all these adversities, eventually these children themselves, when they grow up, they make up for the top 25 country that India is among to live in. That's from my end, Suprakash.
Avantika, this is the last cross questioning I am allowing. Please go forward to Asif's question.
Yeah, so see, I don't want to cross question at all. I just want to put this in right over here that what he said is okay, is absolutely correct. That a kid, when he or she grows in a specific environment, he adapts to it. It's absolutely correct, like whatever he said. But the thing is, letting some person come from a different country and then adapt in this environment and adjust and then get into this. Right, improvise, adapt, and overcome, which is saying is it is different for different countries. Right, it's different for a different environment. What we face over here, what we face over there. Like India can never tolerate gender equality. Whatever happens, the metropolitan areas will go for it, but in village areas where people are still doing with early child marriages, there these nerd things will go on. No one can help to it, and no debate can even give a proper solution to it. That's what I'm saying. So let's just put it and end over here.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Now Arnav has the opportunity to counter against team. He has two questions left. Arnav, are you there? Arnav, you are not perfectly audible.
Audible? Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Now it's okay. Now it's fine, fine, fine. You can now question. Arnav?
Sorry, I don't find any question now. Sorry for that.
Okay, fine. So let's have an end to the second session, to the second round. And I would like to hand over my mic to our today's judge and our honorable senior Shaknik Shenda for having some highlights on the performances of the participants. Shaknik da, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to say some words regarding today's debate session. So firstly, I would like to say that Asif Shamim and Avantika said debated brilliantly, and they have given us many points and figures and facts also that we can look after. So basically, I would like to I choose that topic that India is not among the best countries to raise a child. One point that Asif told that India is among the top 25 countries to live in. India is among the top 25 countries to live in just because the expenses that we bear in this country. The expenses in this country is much lower than the any kind of first generation countries. So that's why mainly it's easy to live and grow in India. And secondly, I would like to say that the death rates and the educational system is directly not connected to the fact that India is was to raise a child. A child, a child practically faces the educational system when they are grew up, and they commit suicide after they grew up and they become after 18. So 18 years he raised as a child, but he commits a suicide after being in a college. So it's not actually connected to the educational system actually. But in India, the number of successful suicide committed in India is more than the unemployed persons in India. Okay, so the youth who are committing suicide is not because of unemployment. They are committing suicide because of the, very many kind of situations like family problems and relationship statuses and all, and these numbers are very much high. Asif said that just so Asif said that the population of our country is really huge, and with respect to that, the number of suicides is less. But the number of, if I just concentrate on the numbers of suicides, then it is not too much less to ignore. Okay, so there are hundreds and thousands of students who used to commit suicide every year, and during this pandemic, the rate of suicide is low, but in the current scenario, the mental health issues of students used to be high, just because of their living in their family and all. So the problem is there. In third world country like India, in every state we raise a child with their own culture. In Bengal, we raise a child with our own perspective, with our own socialism. In Delhi, it's different. In South India, it's different. So in every state, the uh, raising of a child, the criteria of raising a child is different. So there is an so in every state it differs that how we raise a child. The problem is the problem with over restricted parents is that restrictions restrictions just stops us from engaging ourselves to the world and what is happening to the outer side. It is a drawback of the overprotective, and some parents give totally freedom to their child, and this is also a bad thing because in Canada, just like Asif Samim said, that schoolboys are having guns and just becoming a gangster. So we raise a child in India. There is also a problem that we raise a child as a part of our family program. We don't raise a child because we want to raise a life. We want to create a life, and we just make a life as a part of our family planning. So that is happening in very kind of very states in India. In some states, kids used to marry themselves before 18. Even nowadays, we can see that even nowadays they are suffering from that. And one more thing is sometimes parents think their decision is supreme. That's a bad thing, very bad thing. Because in every year, not in every year, if we consider 10 years of gap, if we consider the 2010 scenario and if we consider the 2020 scenario, then the both scenarios are different. If a parent is thinking as a 21 scenario, then the fact is totally changed during this timeline. Actually, considering myself, I'm a currently final year undergraduate in Kuchbehar Government Engineering College, as everybody knows. And my parents went college 30 years ago. Okay, so it's a huge gap. So everything has changed. Basically, the society and the approach to life and the necessities are changed. Okay, so if their commitment to college life and their commitment to education is restricted and stubborn as rock because of their thinking is and they are overprotected, then it's difficult for us to uh, communicate with it's difficult for us to raise ourselves and to be fit for the current society and current scenario. So these points I would like to say to everybody who is present in this debate session. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Great, Shaknigda. Shaknigda showed a true transparent view of today's topic. The topic was given by him, by the way. Thanks to him for his valuable time. Now I would like to hand over the mic to our honorable senior and leading in charge of debate club, Shottumda. Shottumda, are you there?
One more thing I would like
Ha,
to
ha.
tell that someone said that medical industry is growing and having the biggest revenues. Can you please give me the sources? Because actually, Indian medical system is not that big actually. We invest more money in the military section. Almost 29, if I am not wrong, almost 29% of the GDP goes to the military section, and 6% of GDP goes to the medical section. We are just trying to copy the Indian medical system, or trying to copy or just idealize the American system, which is not correct because America is not uh, among the top countries to get a medical service. The top countries are, if I must say, there are European countries, South Asian countries like Greece is one of the most biggest medical sector, possess the biggest medical sector in all over the world, and there are some others, Mali and the other countries also. But Indian medical system, the investments are very less, and um, the things are not too good. And in the engineering sector, somebody said that in IIT, students commit suicide because of the education system. No, the students doesn't commit suicide because of the educational pressure. They are in JE. When they prepare for JE is the main pressure. When they comes into IIT, then they are familiar with the system. They commit suicide after third year or second year completion. If you can survey on that, you can know the main problem is that the expectation the family used to uh, have from that child who is studying in IIT. Actually, it can be looked as if one of us are studying from IIT, what we will expect? He will get a bigger package. He will get an extraordinary gang or circumstances or anything. And first thing that we expect is a bigger package, bigger scenario, bigger placements. And sometimes, if when it doesn't happen, then parents used to be disappointed, and they should be. Okay, so when it comes to that child who is studying in IIT, who is having that pressure, they commit suicide because of that. And for the educational system, India's educational system in bigger picture is really good. In comparing with the other first world countries, our education system stands among the top 10 educational systems in all over the world. So, and IIT is the history of IIT is really good. If you can search in the internet, you can know. So that's the point I would like to say. That's it from my side. Now Satyam can say things about the session. Thank you very much, you lovely guys. You are really great.
Thank you, Shanida. Shotam, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Okay, okay.
Hello. First of all, good evening to everyone, to my respected senior, and to my juniors who are present in the meet. I don't know if someone is from second year also. Oh, only first year and senior is there. First of all, I was not too well to speak, and I was not well prepared even. So I will not, and I have not watched the highlights of whatever you have said. I just entered when there was a heated argument going between Asif and Avantika. Then only I entered the meet. So I will not comment on your performance today like I used to comment. But what I have an idea about the topic, I would like to have my views upon it. So first of all, uh, the topic which I always tell you that, however, as being as the mediocre in the like while assigning a topic to you guys, we have our personal ideas and opinions upon the way we saw that. No, we are not inclined to for the motion or against the motion. So that's not like that. We are again, we have a particular type of motion which we don't so, but we have in our mind. So when this topic came, I think I was in the side that in against the topic, because the topic which was saying was that India's raising the country, raising the child in our country is ranked too low. So personally, according to me, or if I say my views, the standard uh, in which the survey was done, or the things which we consider on that survey which was done, can differ. Like if you say for America, there what they teach in 11th or 12th or higher secondary, that is I will talk about mathematics, that is considered too low. While when we come to countries like India, where there is a highly chance of competitiveness, there are many engineering graduates there. I know maximum of you guys might heard from your parents कि बेटा engineering कर लो, उसके बाद जो करना है कर लो. Like we are completing a graduate degree and then we can decide that what we do, which is opposite in cases like India being a country of 1.3 billion. uh, if I just give you one stat, that the number of people, those who travel through Indian railways in one day, is equivalent to the population of full Australia. 20 lakh people give NEET every year, 10 lakh people give JEE every year, and around 10 to 12 lakh, I think, give LLB paper. And I think 6 to 7 lakh give GATE. And 12 to 13 lakh UPSC. This is the condition of Indian students and the examination they encounter. We, as a general students, have while growing up face certain time of pressure. Like some of you might have faced economic pressure from your parents, like बेटा ये कर लो, पहले सेटल हो जाओ, फिर अपने मतलब क्या कहते हैं पैशन को फॉलो करना. पापा मेरा पैशन म्यूजिक है. So these points can be considered as a negative sense when we see developed countries students or America. For the survey was conducted in America only. I saw the topic. So this can be considered negative in countries like India. The area from which I belong, you are considered successful only when you are good at academics. Arts people are generally not considered as or seen as a good student. So these are quite negatives or drawbacks which the system has raised, or which the stereotypes are still there. One more thing, while highlighting the topic, I must say, is the generation gap. I think before 2017, before the advent of Geo, none of us were knew about YouTube or the careers which we could not have gaming. So there was a huge generation gap between our parents' thinking and the thinking which we have. But the things have changed. The generation which we are, or the generation of like my father, or if I say about my family, I have a like I can share everything with my family, what problem I am encountering, which my father did not dare even to say before their family, or which my mom never dared to say against her family. So these the things are changing, as I think the rank which was shown might have been done a survey. Surveys are done on similar statistics, like the COVID statistics. If I tell you just present statistics, I'm just giving you examples of it. The whole testings of Rajasthan in one day is more than of what there are testers done in many other states, like populous states. So that's the current possible thinking, that the if the testings are done more, the results of the samples of COVID positives must be more than that, because you know about Omicron and its advent. So the surveys, if are done in a 1.3 billion country, the standard of living in a country like India will surely be of a lower rank. A country where people have problem in having a washroom or roti, kapda and makan, the basic advents of human beings' life. So that country's ranking must be low. But things are changing at a rapid pace, and I personally want my country to have a better ranking in that. We are, I think, in the top below 15 countries in the world's most happiest countries to live in. So things have changed, and things might get changed a little better later. The huge number of 1.3 billion is a result of the number of statistics which we are seeing. Remember, New Zealand was considered as the best nation to have it in terms of uh, COVID prevention, or if you say that COVID care. If I personally say, if I personally say about that, the New Zealand was considered as the best. But if I compare New Zealand population with India's population, I think UP population is more than that of whole New Zealand's population. But the Western media considered New Zealand as the best country in COVID management. So you might have got the idea what I want to say and what I want to convey. I have talked about both sides of the coin, like the generation gap, which we face, the numbers I have talked. So this was my personalized view on the topic. I would like to thank Shagnibda for participating in the event and handling the event. I would like also thank Suprakash, because I was not well. I knew that my throat will not work for too long, and I had a busy schedule. So thank you, Suprakash, for holding this debate. And to every first year, whoever he may involve, I think Anish is streaming it. Thank you, Anish, for streaming it live. Thank you, everyone, for having such an awesome session. And as I have promised that Debate Club will have its own event, I had a promise. I had made a promise to a senior, and in within 1 or 2 weeks, 1 week, no, I think we have only 1 week for that. There will be an event from Debate Club. The permission letter is in my hands. The format and all things will be told to you guys after I and Shine then decide it on virtually. So that's all. I will urge Anish to stop the streaming now, so I can share you something with you guys. Anish, kindly stop streaming now.